alt season is happening as we speak right now if you haven't been paying attention. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what's happening. This is where XRP explodes. Okay, it's during alt season, by the way. Why do we have alt season happening? If not incoming, it's literally imminent, but it's actually been happening due to the Bitcoin.dominance chart. Well, here comes Coinbase Institutional. Alt season is coming. As September approaches, the transition to a full-scale alt season is likely. Wait, what? Our positive 3Q25 outlook stems from macro trends such as potential Fed rate cuts and expected regulatory advancements. More key themes in this monthly outlook report. Guys, who's saying this? This isn't a random person on Twitter, right? Somebody who's a random analyst, guys. No, it's literally an exchange. Coinbase Institutional is stating alt season is coming in the month of September. Right? Now before we talk about their side of why alt season is coming, well, it actually has already begun. Why? Bitcoin.dominance. When this is falling, money from Bitcoin is pouring into altcoins. By the way, this right here was when XRP ran from 50 cents to $3 and change. Just this. Okay? Look, watch this. Right here. Right here. It was when XRP ran from literally cents to dollars. Okay? Just by a few red candles. And that was all XRP's move and some other major coins as well. But, and all this dumpage that's happening right now is when XRP ran from like $2 to $3 and change. Right? So by the way, the recession got canceled. You know why? Because we're below this moving average. Okay? We need to keep staying below this line and alt season will keep happening. Right? And this is just going to keep falling. But that's purely technically from the technical side of things, guys. Right? Now, why is alt season actually coming during the month of September? Now, Coinbase says open interest spiked. CoinMarketCap's altcoin season index says alt season begins when 75% of the top 50 altcoins outperform Bitcoin over the last 90 days. It's currently at 40%. But a liquidity wave in Q3 of 2025 and early Q4 could accelerate the rotation of capital from other assets back into alts. So we see here on this chart, guys, that altcoin open interest dominance ratio has spiked. Okay, now I'm pretty sure when we see this, guys, it's basically when there's so much interest, right? People are searching online, right? People are looking more into altcoins than rather Bitcoin, right? Whatever coin it may be. Right here is when XRP pumped, okay, from cents to dollars. It was during this move right here, and it's happening again. Look at that, it happened again here, right? So we need the interest to keep on spiking, guys, right? We need the interest to keep on going higher and higher and higher. So this is fantastic news. It seems like interest, right, dominance, altcoin dominance ratio, correlates with altcoin's market cap as well. Now this is emerging signs of crypto liquidity recovery. Oh wow, liquidity is coming back into the scene as well, huh? So institutional interest in Ethereum is driving altcoin season. Fueled by digital asset treasuries and stablecoin narratives, the divergence in the altcoin season index and total altcoin market cap reflects rising institutional interest in Ethereum. So Ethereum held by select digital asset treasury companies. Wow, and all these people, by the way, are buying more ETH as we speak, right? They just keep gobbling as much as Ethereum as possible. Now, I was pondering to myself, I was wondering why that's the case. I'm like, there's so many buys of Ethereum happening lately, but why? It doesn't make sense, right? Though this says it does, because this mentions alt season is around the corner here, right? The reason being is because, just watch this. BlackRock just bought $92 million worth of Ethereum and $49 million worth of Bitcoin, buying the dip here, right? But they bought more Ethereum than Bitcoin. Just this recent purchase, okay, yesterday, or just recently, guys. This happened. Now, Whale's buying another $56 million worth of Ethereum. But why? Right? ETH on top of ETH on top of ETH on top of ETH purchased. Then, Nine whale addresses just bought $450 million worth of ETH. Right now, this is fantastic news. You understand why all these ETH buys, guys, are just ridiculous. Imagine having a percentage of this money, guys. Right, that would be crazy. Now, again, the reason they're buying Ethereum here is because they see a potential all season. Right, money rotation from Bitcoin into Ethereum. Then there's a trickle effect that happens to, which goes down to XRP, then other major altcoins, then to the degenerate coins and meme coins and S coins. Right, so that's like the waterfall effect that will take place. But it's quite clear what's happening here. Right, we don't need to look at any other metric, because remember, we front ran their buys. They're buying Ethereum right now, but we said that this thing from literally back here, there was a divergence that played out, by the way. Right, let me see if I can show you exactly on the weekly. What do you guys notice? And this is why it's very important. A divergence right there. Price went higher, but the momentum went lower. Right, we said that this thing is going to retouch this level, and then we'll know what happens with the world. If it holds here support, what you tried, right? What you tried, and it moves back up like this, that's bad news bears, because a recession is coming. But if it goes down like this, all season happens and recession canceled, right? Until later, when the all season probably, when all season is finished, right? So right now we're heading into oversold, okay? But it could stay down there for a bit, guys. Look at that right here. It stayed down there for a little bit of time, right, until the move was completely finished. Until we've seen bullish divergences on the weekly is when it will get scary. So for now, this thing's gonna keep dumping, right, which is fantastic, because remember, that means altcoins will be outperforming Bitcoin, which is why BlackRock just bought another $314 million worth of Ethereum. They are buying this dip aggressively. But remember, they just sold ETH, right? They were selling these coins, and now they're starting to buy back. What's that about? Manipulation, if you ask me. Now, Fundstrat predicts Ethereum will reach $12,000 to $15,000 by year end. Is that a possibility here? Right? I honestly think like 6 to 7K Ethereum is possible, right? Let's see if we could do some quick technical analysis side. Let's see where there's a resistance line here that held it multiple times as tops, right, or minimum short-term tops. The next one will be, I can't tell. It would be, let me see. So the next touch point of this would be at around 7K, right? If it goes in the month of September, 7K. But if it goes later, it'll be higher, guys. I'm guessing for a short-term top before a recession, then money printer begins, then we go higher, right? Remember, but if Ethereum goes to 7K, and that's a move, right? That's a move of a 50% move. But XRP versus ETH will go back to the range highs, 100% plus 50%. That equals that's 150% for XRP from this level. Takes XRP to $7.70, 777, right? Now, do we see why it's important? Why this is very important on us figuring out alt season, right? But we front ran alt season. We knew this to be the case. A billion USDT was just minted on Ethereum, okay, from the Tether treasury. We got another $1 billion printed out of thin air, folks. What does that mean? Right? It means pack your bags, prepare, because what's upcoming is going to be generational here. Okay? It's going to get crazy. Now, the MACD, we got a MACD bullish cross about to flip for the first time in 5 years. Alt season is coming in full force. Ethereum versus Bitcoin, by the way, has been going on a rampage, right? Literally on you do not want to mess with this chart, right? It's basically the same as XRP versus Bitcoin pairing, right? It broke through major, long, like almost a decade or half a decade, guys, of resistance. Right, it just broke through, or it's breaking through right now, right? And when it fell, that's when Ethereum versus Bitcoin died. Ethereum died against Bitcoin, but above this support or resistance line is when Ethereum takes full charge, right? Look at this. Look at the moves it makes, guys. And these are huge moves, by the way, right? Extreme moves, because it depends on what Bitcoin does too. And Bitcoin is usually bullish when this is moving higher, if you guys haven't noticed, right? That's true alt season, which means it's time to prepare, guys. Then we got on the MACD, another bullish cross. The last time this happened was when Ethereum did this. That's incoming, right? So Ethereum's 5 digits incoming, $10,000 plus, guys. And remember, if Ethereum does good, XRP will even devour Ethereum's ROI, right? So the game plan is quite clear, and this comes from Coinbase Institutional, by the way, not me, right? So let's see what happens next. This isn't financial advice, but I'll prepare, because if Coinbase is telling us an insider, right, and they manipulate prices, then imagine what's upcoming. True all season, possibly. Not financial advice. But anyways, that's all for this. See ya.